Hello and welcome back to Farming Simulator 22 and the Survival Series. So we've pretty much bypassed 2 months now. We're now in December, and December's a really good month because we're going to sell quite a lot of stuff. We're not going to sell the corn because that's in June time. We were also not going to sell the wool. There isn't much of that anyway, but we're not going to sell that until April. But we are going to sell the silage, and that's the biggest job. We've got a lot of silage. I'm hoping it turns out some good cash, and that's the aim anyway. There's a few things that I do need to still do. I have taken the bales and loaded up as many as I can onto the trailer, and I've also stacked them in the field so they're easy to pick up when we do need to put them back onto the trailer a second time. And we are going to start taking from the bunker. So I have got the trailer over there with the Landini, and that's full up, ready to go. We're going to do it with another trailer. I'm going to try and set up probably auto drive to do 2 carting at the same time. I'm hoping that I've set it up well enough that there's enough places for them to bypass each other. So let's just talk about the animals for a second then. I've been trying to tend the animals over the last couple of months. I've been skipping through. Chickens aren't too bad, but we've only got 15. It's a nice looking chicken coop, but we probably need a little bit more. Yeah, the only problem is we're going to then need the grain to give them. So it is something that we should probably look at maybe in the future, but now they're not really doing much. I mean, we haven't even got enough to sell yet. So we've had them a while, so it's going to be difficult. Now, the sheep are producing very slowly, and they don't consume much, but we haven't got many sheep as well, so we should have enough to make a bit of cash when we take it around April time, but we probably again want to try and up the amount of sheep that we've got eventually. But the cows are doing excellent. Now, I have used all the hay and quite a good chunk of the silage that I decided to keep. Probably about 3 bales now out of the 15. And as you can see, we now are around 15,000 litres of milk, which is pretty good. And we're going to sell that in January. So we are going to try and get all that sold probably in January. It'll probably skip up a little bit more as well. But unfortunately, we're not going to be at the maximum, which is TMR levels. So bit of a shame, but it is what it is. So that's that, and all we need to do is obviously sell, make a bit of money, and try our best to come up with a bit of a plan for the kind of winter break when I decide to place down anything that I'm building for the next stage or the next year. Now, the fields I haven't done absolutely anything in, so they do need ploughing still. So if we go in here, you can see that if we take the weeds off, they do require to be ploughed because we grow corn in there, so that's one of the negatives. But the good thing about it, after we've ploughed and we do the next crop, we're not going to get any weeds because we've ploughed, so it kind of balances itself out in the end. Now, we have got obviously the grass field that we're going to try and focus on doing a lot of hay next time around, and silage. We've got to try and take into account that we want to get some more cows and everything else, and try and maximise on the TMR with the milk. Now, the logs, we have expanded it out. So if I just quickly put flight mode on, it'd be better to show you this way. So originally we wanted this kind of square chunk going up like a bit of a rectangle. That's going to be the new root crop field. Now I decided that I made a little bit of an extra patch over here, and I'm going to put something in, probably a little shed, just a bit more storage. I think you can never have too much storage. And after that we will be probably trying to make ourselves a new field. I think that is the next best thing to do. And then eventually, like I said, we want cows, we want more production things and everything. So we're going to need to get some space for this. Now, we could eat away in that direction over there. We do own some of that. But yeah, I think the only thing we're going to have to do, I'd say, is buy a chunk of land going out in that direction for the logs. Because we make money from buying it as well, and we use the space after. Now, I have had a good idea, which is to try and invest again into logging, but plant our own trees this time around. Now, it takes around 24 months on average, depending on what you're planting in, to get fully grown adult trees that you can then chop down again. So we really need to plan this where we've got a good rotation every 24 months. So every 12 months in a year, we will get one patch that we can harvest or chop down the trees, use it to sell money, use it to make money, sell the wood. We can even do planks if we wanted to go down that route, and then we just replant in that area. So we're going to invest at some point in the next year probably about £20,000 in getting the planter that is required for that. And I think the first patch is going to be across this track. We're going to try and plant trees all the way down just to about there, and then in 2 years time from them we'll be chopping them trees down. So we probably need another patch then after that, as that's got to 12 months. We'll plant another, and somewhere else we'll find another patch, and then by the time the next ones have grown, these will be ready, and we'll just keep doing that. So at least every year we'll have some trees to chop down. It's not going to be many, but I think it'll be a good amount to make some cash, because it depends how many we can fit in that area there. I mean, that's probably more than maybe about the same, maybe more than we're normally cutting anyway. So we can make it sustainable, and that's the main aim, because as soon as we branch out in this direction, there is going to be a point when we think we can't really go anymore and there's no more space to build onto the farm. And I don't want to go crazy and head off in that direction or that. I do want to try and make it all one. So the best thing is to make it sustainable. Have two fields, you could call them, two fields or two plots where we are harvesting logs basically, and just keep regrowing them and harvesting every 24 months. And then we've got plenty of fields, got bigger animal pastures as well. I would like to get pretty much everything: chickens, sheep, pigs, and obviously a bigger cow pasture to make some milk, but also we could breed them out and sell them as well, even put the production in that I've got for meat as well, so that'd be good. So let's first take this off. Don't need to be flying around anymore. There we go. And we are going to sell some logs. Now, I decided to mix things up a little bit. The logs on the bottom, I think there's about 3 of them. I tried to make them the normal 5 meters, but then what I decided to do with the ones at the top is go for an 8 meter, just to see if it's better priced. I've got a feeling that 8 meter might be better, but I mean, I've put this trailer to the limit. We're going to have to go slow for this. And do you know what I'm going to do as well? I am actually going to use the John Deere. Crazy as it sounds, we're going to use the John Deere, because we're going to go in the other direction. I'm hoping in the other direction the John Deere will just about make it, but we are asking it to pull even more than it's ever done before, so it's going to be a bit of a challenge and maybe a risk, but we'll find out. If not, we'll get the Landini. It's just more hassle to get the Landini. I've kind of all set it up with the trailer full of silage using the auger that we purchased. So let's just take this steady and see how she gets on. I'm hoping to get a good chunk of cash for this, because these are fair logs. They really are much bigger, so we should take in a lot more for that. But also, I feel like if you try to work it out, it might be more profitable to have 8 meters. Now, so far, this isn't a good sign, because we are struggling already. Got a feeling this might have been a bad idea, but we're getting there slowly. 9 miles an hour, or kilometers an hour. It's even worse. Yeah, it's that bit where we need to properly go uphill. I mean, ideally you'd want to take a run up. This is our run up right now, 6 kilometers, and it's probably going to go down, but we'll see how it gets on. So, as you can probably tell, that didn't work out at all. I got stuck here, never mind at that part. It was just near enough impossible for the John Deere to get up there. I think it's more wishful thinking on my part. So, what we're going to try and do here is we're going to swing it around this way, because I've got a feeling it might tip if I don't do this. Slow it down. This is close. I mean, it might pay off at the end to when we sell this, but yeah, it's overloaded. It really is. It's heavy, and it's prone to tipping. It was prone to tipping when I was travelling with 5 meters. Never mind these 8 meters. It's pretty crazy, but at least the Landini gets up the hill really well. So we're gonna try and take a run up and just hope that the trailer stays upright. And I'm hoping this gives us some cash anyway, because I do want to go to the store and swap out one item, which is what I've been travelling around and transporting the water, because we need to start thinking about transporting the milk. Now that trailer that I've got, one, it's a dolly, which is never fun, and two, it only holds 1,000 litres, so it's pretty much non-existent. And we can buy something else that holds 5. 16,000, not bad at all. Definitely pretty good, that is. I mean, I don't know if that is more money though. Maybe we should try 6 or 7 instead of 8. I feel like for what we're hauling there, that was a lot. But we are at 36,000, so that's pretty good. We can buy this trailer that I want to get. It's a tanker, but it's only small. It's really, really small, but it holds 5,000. We can't afford to go with anything bigger at the moment. We do need to try and save as much money now to purchase any equipment we need for the root crops and the equipment that we need to use to plant in some trees and so on. It's going to be pretty tricky. So we need to head up to the shop. I've got a few deliveries or trips that I need to make. We've got the bales on the trailer. We've got the John Deere there on the little tanker that we need to sell. And we've also got silage. Right, so there we go. This is full. 22,000 litres. Now what we need to do is probably set it from here. This should be fine. And then we need to make sure we go pick up and deliver. We're going to be picking up from the bunker fill, and we're going to be taking to the bale cell point. I think it's bale and silage cell. And then what we're going to be doing is filling up from silage. We'll set it to 9 and off you go. Happy days. So the first load on its way. So I think now it would be perfect to take these, and as you can see I have got a shed ton. Official measurement is a shed ton. It is probably on its limit, and we're going to have to take this steady. This is why I'm not going to trust AutoDrive to take these, because yeah, I tried to get as many on as possible. And we haven't got that many left in the field. I mean, we could even keep them ones over there just because I think we might need some extra silage, and just sell them ones there and then everything in the bunker. But here we go, off we go to the shop. First silage trip. Let's hope we turn out quite a lot of cash from that load over there, and then also from the bales on here. Getting there slowly. I am actually just catching him up, just about catching him up. But we are getting there. We're going to have to wait as well because it's the same sell point, so we'll have to wait for him to do his thing. He just didn't take over. I'm glad I didn't really, because then it just would have caused issues with AutoDrive. But at least we'll get to see exactly how much he picks up. This trailer scares me whilst taking a corner. I'm just glad that route was pretty much straight. So the money is going up from the first load, and we got 4,000 from one load. That's not too bad. That really isn't too bad at all. And soon we'll be having the John Deere going as well. We'll have to keep maintaining while it's filling up, but we'll let AutoDrive actually do the driving to the shop. So here we are. Silage is about to sell. We just got 12,000 for that. That is excellent. So we've made 16,000 already from the silage, and we're now sitting at 52,000. So who knows? We could be close to. Well, I'm just going to make a guess of. Let's say if I'm over 85,000, I'll be very happy, but I don't know exactly how much we're going to get by the end. It's going to be tricky. But with that being said, if we do get 85,000, that should be plenty to actually get the tools we require. So we should be able to get some root crop equipment for the year. That's including everything really, hopefully. If not, we can always use a bit of logging to top that up. But it should also give us enough money to get a shed, definitely a shed, and anything else we require. But I think we're doing alright. I think we can go into the next year not spending too much. Like I said, we need the root crop equipment, we need a shed, and then we can just plough the field, plant in the root crops and some other type of crop. I'm going to go with something that gives me straw this time, just because I do want a bit of straw to kind of fill up that TMR mix just to make it less costly on the silage and hay. I think we'll be good. I think anything else will just be an upgrade after that. But we're doing well. Right, so we're going to just leave this here for the meantime, and then we'll come and load these. I think that's probably going to be enough. I've already taken a fair few, so I'm just trying to figure out if we... I think we'll be set. If we do need any more silage, we're going to make some anyway, so I think we can just tie ourselves over for the meantime with that. Let's jump to this in a second, but first what we want to do is get this all set up. So park her up and off we go again. I mean, as you can tell, there is a lot of silage to sell. There really is, and I'm just hoping it doesn't take too long. I mean, 20,000 litres in this and then that. I think when we're doing 2, it won't be too bad. The only issue is we've got to manually load this in because it needs us to keep moving it forward. So it is going to take some effort anyway, just because of that. It is a little bit fidgety. It's not the best, but it's better than scooping it in still. It just it's got a bit of delay on the brakes and then the acceleration for some reason. I don't know why it's not picking that bit up. Oh well, we'll figure it out. Yeah, we're gonna have to reverse this out in a second. I think it's probably best if we start reversing this again, just to try and get close to, because we're obviously going to end up moving this forward, so let's try and get as close as we can. Probably about there. I mean, it's just a bit of a faff, that's all. I think personally I wish it had a bigger pickup area, because it's actually picking nothing up at the moment for some reason. Maybe we need to just open the rest of the bunker. We can open that bit, but not this bit. That's strange. The last thing we want is a bug with this. Right, so I've actually just moved it to this side, hoping that it will fix this. We can see that we've got a bit of an issue here, so I'm hoping it will empty from that side and then get to that point, and yeah, then we shouldn't have an issue. Hopefully, that's the plan. But there we go, that's it 100% now, so what we can do is from about here we can set this going again, and off you go, job done. And at some point as well we will set up this to go and take the other loads. I mean, we could, just trying to think if we could use the John Deere, probably better. Let's go and sell this and pick up the other trailer, because we're going to need that. Even that's only 5,000 litres, so it's going to be a slog in itself. Probably got 2 loads to take at least. But we probably want to do that around January time anyway, if I remember rightly. So let's go take this up to the store. We'll sell it, and we'll also purchase the other one, which is actually a lot smaller, probably easy to handle around. Right, so that's just sold that. We got another 4,000. This has just arrived, which is great news. So we can take over this. And I've also put the bales on the trailer, and that's on its way up as well. So we are being productive. We're getting through this. I imagine I won't get much for this because it is a cheap trailer. There we go, so that's that. Sell this. £1,356. Better than nothing, which will help us when we buy this one, because, well, it's just really cheap in itself. It's the one that I've actually been using on the Farmhand series, so you can already tell from that, if you've been watching the series, how small it actually is. So let's see if the lady sticks around. I mean, maybe we can sneak up. Maybe. I've never actually tried this before. No, she's not. Ignore it. It was worth a try. Right, so we have got a few options in here, but the rest of them are just too costly. I would have liked to get something with a little bit more capacity, really. I mean, this one was 1,000, but this one is 5,000. As you can tell, it holds milk, water, and we can also put liquid fertilizer and herbicide, so it is pretty good for that. But we're going to be putting milk in it, so not really fussed about that. We'll keep them on. We'll have it on that side like that, and then not bothered about the wide tyres, but I am going to go with a bit of a cooler paint, just because I think it'd suit for milk. And that's that. So £2,730. And now we can have much more capacity when it comes to hauling milk, which, I mean, that's 5 trips, the equivalent. I mean, this is, even though this is small and it's only 5,000, it's a lot better than hauling 1,000. That would have been, what, 5 trips just to compare with this one, so not too bad really. Not perfect, obviously we can get better, but we will work up to that at some point. So let's send this back down now, because we're trying to get so much done, so much sold as well. It just makes sense. If we go to sheep and the sheds, that should be fine. We'll have a look. Oh, they've met in the middle. Now that is interesting. Didn't expect that. I have got a few bits like that, for example, where they should have noticed each other, but yeah, that's not ideal. So all we need to do is sell these, and then we're done with the silage bales. So we've picked up quite a lot of money from the silage bales, and it isn't too bad to haul these. I mean, when you do the bunker work, I think there's a lot more work involved in what you end up getting. It could be made easier, it could be made a lot easier for us, but we need money to do that. I still think that probably bales is the best way to go. It is still tricky to do, obviously, because loading and unloading takes time. But yeah, I don't think it's as much time as when you're hauling from a bunker, unless you've got some big wheel loader. It does take quite a big chunk of time to do it. So there we go, another 5,500 from them. It's bringing us up to 60,000. And I said, if I get to 85, I'll be really happy. So when we sold the silage from the bunker and the milk in January, I'm hoping to be around that mark, but we will find out. So what I'll do now is I'll do a few more trips of the silage, just so it's not too much of a burden in the video, going back and forth. We'll get as much sold as possible, and I'll cut back in, give you a bit of an update before we jump to January, and then we start selling the milk. Right, so 82,000, we're getting close, and look how much we've got left. Only 15,000 litres. I did try my best with this thing, but it was just a bit fidgety. It kept moving around, so I decided to go for the bucket over here. And this bucket holds, like, would you believe, 5,000 litres, so it's a pretty good one. So yeah, I brought this, and as soon as I brought the actual haul loader, or wheel loader, or telehandler, whatever you want to call it, the sheet in the middle went, so it did need just a bucket to fix that out. So as you can see, the convoy is back, ready to get filled up again, but unfortunately we're only going to be able to fill up just the one, so I think we'll stick with the faster Landini, and we'll stop this now. And you can see that this is it's done a good job, really. It really has. It has made things quicker by using the all loader. So let's just part this up out the way. There we go. And we'll fill up the last one and then sell that. We'll take a bit of a recap, and then we are going to skip time until January, because I do want to sell the milk as well before the end of this episode, just so we can see what kind of money we've got to work with. And then I'll probably take another jump cut after the proper winter months then, because I need to sort out the fields. If I get a chance, I will plough them, depending if it snows or not. I don't want it to snow and then start ploughing. But if it hasn't snowed, I can easily get to work on the ploughing, and then I think then pretty much all we need to do is set up the new field for the crop, or for the root crop. Maybe do a bit more logging as well. It's never going to hurt. I might even purchase the planter for the trees, so that's ready in the first episode, and we can just get that straight in when we move into the next year. Right, so welcome back. It is now December day 3, and we made a mistake. I have to admit, we've made a dire mistake. The mistake is we ran out of food, really. We've got a lot of silage, but one, the cows can't just take silage on their own, which is a bit strange. I don't know why Farming Simulator went down that route, but they did. So we can't just give them silage, and we had no hay to make any TMR. So we were stuck on that front, and the sheep pretty much got right down to the bottom, and I think they had 75 litres left, and they only take silage. They only take hay or grass, sorry, not silage. So we needed to buy some hay. And you wouldn't believe it, but I ended up with £85,750 from selling all the silage. So I was bang on where I wanted to be. But unfortunately, we've just had to spend over 5,000 getting 8 hay bales. Now, each hay bale is around 4,500 litres. And I've put one into this feed mix with 2 silage bales, which has pretty much filled it up. And then I give one to the sheep. So they're all good now. They're full. They should be full up. There is a little, like, bit of the bale left. Yeah, 1,500 left. So yeah, we need to make hay. Next time around, we're going to do some serious hay bales. We're going to just keep all the hay because now we need it. We're also going to do a field of silage and keep all the silage. We might not actually sell any silage in the next year, just so we can stock up, because we're going through it, and that's the issue. So if we have a look now, you can see that I'm running so close with the cows. They're at 1,500 on the hay. So this TMR mix now will do some good. Full up on the grass / hay for the sheep, and chickens are pretty sound as well. Chickens aren't really fussed about because they don't do much. We haven't got enough of them. So let's go and give this mix to the cows, and then if we think about it, 1 hay bale, that means we've got 6 TMR mixes over there. Depending if we need to give another bale to the sheep, probably about 5. That hopefully will tie us over until we start at least making some hay. We're going to have to do it first thing. I'm hoping it does anyway, or else we're going to have to buy some more bales, and that's the last thing I want, because bales are so expensive compared to what they are to make. It just really shows the value in making your own bales, because buying them is just crazy. It's extortionate. I mean, each bale was £850 just for a bale of hay. Whereas if we try and sell a bale of hay, we don't get hardly anything. So they are making some serious profit on that, the shop are. It's probably our hay as well. We've probably just bought back our own hay. Can you believe that? Can we go any more? Maybe. There we go. So this TMR mix should do him the world of good. Obviously, it'll start producing again at the maximum capacity, which is what we want. And yeah, look at the milk. That's the main aim now. 17,000 litres of milk. Right, so that's that mix gone in. 11,500. We'll tie them over for a bit. We don't need to worry about that. All the cows and sheep and everything like that is sorted out now. So let's get into... We'll go into the Landini, actually, because it's probably the fastest tractor I've got. In fact, I think... this one can go up to 42, so we're going to take the Hurleyman when it comes to selling the milk. We've got 5,000 litres per trail load, so we're going to be doing just over 3. It really is 4, but yeah, it's definitely going to be 4 actually, because we're just giving TMR, and we're going to go one more day in the future and hit January. And now I do know that snow is on the horizon, so we might even be driving in a bit of snow, but we'll find out. What I'll do now is I'll skip time, because the video has probably gone on for quite some time as well, which is unfortunate but also needed, because we definitely need to get everything sold and set for the next year. But yeah, I'll go into January. Hopefully we'll not have too much snow, even though I don't mind it. It looks really nice. It's just sometimes I get that flickering effect, which is not the best to see, and also it's not easy to drive in, when especially with the Hurleyman. Right, so that's the first load. We've got 18,000 litres to sell, so we're just going to go and do 4 trips now. to the store, and it is January, and we did have a bit of snow, but not enough to go on the ground unless it hasn't updated yet. I'm happy about that because it means that this should get there a little bit easier. So yeah, we're hoping to pick up some good cash from this because this is going to be one of the main sources of income going forward. Now, I have decided that the fields for next year, we're going to be doing obviously the new one for root crops. I'm not 100% certain yet if we're going to do potatoes or sugar beets. It just depends on the equipment. But the two other fields we're going to do oats in because it's the only thing we can plant still this coming up into March. We kind of missed the planting window for wheat or barley, and we need to get some straw just to top up. We want to have enough now, making sure we can do the TMR mixes going forward. So we're going to be doing 2 fields of oats and then finally some root crops. We're also going to start planting in some trees, and from them trees every 2 years we're going to have an area that we just keep chopping down and replanting in. I haven't decided yet. The tractor needs a repair, but yeah, I haven't decided yet what type of tree we're going to go for. It really does depend on what's easiest to harvest and also profit and all that. So we'll have a look at it and make a pick. We might switch it up a bit. We might plant something different and then next year plant something different just to test them out. There is some that I would probably want to avoid because they're just too small. They're not very good for logging, but we'll try and get the best one. Start overloading the milk. Hopefully we're going to bring us way over the 85 mark because unfortunately we had to take that hit. And there we go. So 3,800, which is just under 4,000. So we're probably going to get around 11,000. 11,000. Actually, we're doing 4 trips, aren't we? So yeah, I'm going to guess about 14,000, 15,000 pounds, which is pretty good. So I'll get these all sold. I'll cut back in when it's done, and then we'll definitely know the final amount of money that we've got to mess about with when we start putting a shed in, and also the equipment that we need, and also I'll set the fields up as well before the next episode. So there we go. That's our final amount. 93,000. It's probably going to be about 91 by the time we've done the ploughing, if I do use coarse blade like I'm doing on the other field over there and this one, and then I'll do that one over there manually just so I'll get it right. But yeah, happy with having 93,000. I think that's not too bad for the silage and milk. We still need to sell as well all the corn that we got, but that's going to be June time, so plenty of time to do that. But that'll be a little bit of cash as well added to the coffers, and yeah, I think going into the next episode we'll hopefully have some good changes. Like I said, I'm going to make all these changes now before the next episode. We're going to get in here, cut ourselves out a new field. It's going to be pretty small compared to the other ones, but big enough for root crops, and then over in that direction I'm going to try and get a shed, and we'll just see what we can fit in for the price. And then, like I said, after that it's equipment. I'm probably going to buy the planter for the trees straight away so we can start off with that in the next episode. But yeah, plenty to do now in between, and hopefully it'll look pretty good. But on that note, I am going to leave the video there. So thanks for watching, really do appreciate it every time. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video. If you have, please give it a thumbs up because that does help my channel out. And if you're new, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more videos just like this one on Farming Simulator.